evening, guys. Welcome back to our farm. My name is Kylie Gray and you are in Central Oregon. Welcome. I wanted to give you some updates here. Well, we're gonna go to the high tunnel, but we got super cold last night. And before this video continues, I want to give a warning to those who live here. We get frost all year round, and it got really cold last night, cold enough to nip all of my potatoes. See those little, not the green, lovely green grass, but all of the darknish. Those were the potatoes that came up that got bit from the frost last night. Now we have more, I don't know why I'm talking to the fence. We have more days coming. So we have this is crazy for us, especially for June. But Monday is a high of 50, which means I don't know if we'll get to 50. So we might be in the 40s in June, which is insane, which means we're going to get a hard freeze. So fortunately, the only thing I have that would be bit is these potatoes, which they will come back. Everything else, I'm just going to batten down the hatches in my high tunnel. And I want to take you in here because I haven't shown it to you. I built those doors early this spring. It's a little crazy in here. I have planted in here. Now I'm going to give you a warning that 2 of these trees are dead and might be another one dead. Hopefully not. But a deer got in here a few months ago and you'll be able to see the damage on my trees. I also haven't put any fresh compost on, and I just planted everything, so it all looks really small, and probably any of my seeds have not come up. But I think it's fun to see this because I did plant late. I planted June 11th or so. It wasn't that long ago. I was just hauling butt to get things done in here. So here's what it looks like currently. I have some extra hoses and sprinklers I need to get out of here. Trying out different sprinklers to see what would work. I have this big impact one right here. That chicken coop needs to go. The big high impact one, and I have it high enough where it's not like pounding my tomatoes, but it's not my favorite for in here. And I tried these little guys, which I love outside, but we don't have a frost free here, and so we run a hose. And it takes a while for it to get here, and it's ran off our house well, which doesn't have the greatest pressure. Our irrigation well, it's like fire hydrant level, and it has quite a bit of pressure, which I love, which can run a lot of wobblers. So I could try some wobblers in here, but it's such a big space. This high tunnel, in case you're new, this is from the NRCS High Tunnel Grant Initiative, and this is a 72-foot 30 by 72 foot. I believe it's 14 feet high. So it goes quite a ways up there. It's pretty tall. We also are zone 3 and we get frost all year round. So we do have an orchard growing in here. It's a little one, which is slightly, I don't know. I still have a lot of work to do in here, which is fine. Like, we could do compost for definition, or I might just do mulch. We'll have to see. But so far I planted like 150 strawberries. We got a bunch of blueberries, which I have between the orchard trees. And I have my peppers, my tomatoes, cucumbers, squashes. That's what I'm kind of in here for, because I planted those a couple days ago and those kind of germinate quick. And it looks pretty dry in here, but I will tell you, I do run the sprinkler in here every day. And if you move this dry soil, it's damp underneath. So looks can be deceiving. But this is our second year growing in here, and I am like a newbie when it comes to this stuff. I'm just trial and erroring it. What I did trial last year was not trellising my tomatoes because I had a theory. There's a YouTube channel out there it's fun to watch. It's called The Veggie Boys. They're in Pennsylvania. Now they're in a family farm, but it's so big that they don't trellis their tomatoes or peas, which gave me the nerve to do it myself. To be like, okay, I think I could put bug spray on, so hopefully these mosquitoes stay away. But I put this natural bug spray on and it worked before, so hopefully it works today. They don't trellis anything, and that gave me the idea. I haven't seen anybody do it here, but since then I've heard of another gardener or two that have tried it. And I thought, well, they don't do it for frost or heat because we live in the high desert. We're in a high desert, so we get frost in summer, but we also have heat. So it's a catch-22 when it comes to gardening outside. So like if you have, I think a mosquito just bit me through my flannel. Psychos. It's been a wet year. The catch-22 is we get frost in the summer, but we get a lot of heat. So it's like hard to grow frost tender things in the summer with the heat, and it's hard to grow frost tender things in the summer because of the frost. Okay, so with that being said, obviously having a high tunnel is a bonus. This has been such a cool year. Obviously with our cold weather coming up, you guys really want to cover your crap. So we have 3 days in the 50s next week. You got to cover your stuff outside. If you have anything fragile, and if your potatoes haven't got bit yet by the frost, you should cover those up too. So be fair warning that we got some hard freezes, not just a frost. We have some hard freezes coming, and they're going to affect your plants. So as you can see, I got a lot of frost tender things in here. These are potatoes that I grew last year that the deer ate down because they were horrible in here last year, and they're all coming back. So we should get a decent potato harvest in here just from volunteers. It gets a little difficult between the frost and the heat. So for the peas this year, I'm not trellising them before the heat because on my cattle panel trellis, they got scolded and I had to protect them from the heat of last year. And then my tomatoes, because sometimes with the trellising, they're up higher and they can get frost nipped up top. So I didn't trellis those last year, and I was able to extend them well into September without any heat or anything, just the heat of the ground protecting them from frost. Eventually there comes a time where nothing can be, about to kill a tomato. Nothing can be helped with that. So I did want to show you, all of these tomatoes are my tomatoes that I started, except for 3. I went to a plant sale. They had one at our local Grange community, and I bought 2. Oh no, that one's suffering. That one looks sad. I need to get some water on that guy. And I bought 3 plant starts from there. I got a Subarctic, which I had started one myself, but I didn't know if it was going to do good. That one just might not be getting water. I should like move the sprinkler. And 2 orange ones that I didn't even know what they were. But every other tomato in here I started myself. The majority of them, I think I have 24 San Marzanos, a whole variety of a bunch. One day when they start looking happier, some of them are just kind of like, this is sad in real life. I had 3 trays of tomatoes in my little greenhouse, and 2 of the trays had bottom water reservoirs and one didn't. And the one that didn't, I am neglectful Nancy, but here's one of the ones that was neglected. Here's another one. Sad. My sister had ones that looked, you see these mosquitoes? They're swarming me, but he's not landing on me. Sicko. Hers were sad too, and she said they bounced back within a week and a half or so, which these have only been in for a few days, so we're just counting on that. I'm not worried about the compost too much in here because the chickens were in here all last year. I was slightly worried of having too much nitrogen, but we'll see. Also, my basils are popping. I got basils planted. I'm not seeing any of my seed things that I planted come up yet, which that's such a gardener thing to do, is come out and be like, it's been 2 days. Has anybody sprouted? No, nobody sprouted. So the plan is, this is all empty. This hasn't been planted yet. It has some weeds in it, but I wanted to bring my truck in here and be able to do that way, but then my truck had to go to the shop, and it's finally back after 2 weeks. So we got a delayed start because of that. But the moral of the story is I left this middle part blank so I could bring the truck in. I moved my pathways to the edges, and we'll have 4 walkways basically, maybe 6 walkways, who knows. We're in a season of a lot of things going wrong, and the worst part is a lot of it is financial, which is fine. We're dealing with them. We're in good spirits. But our kitten Ping Pong has been missing for a week and a half now, and it was one day he's like a cat we could not keep indoors. Like, we know it's hard to keep cats alive in our area around here because there's a lot of predators, and he was 8 months old. He had already been fixed. He already had vaccine. He had already been taken to the vet and been taken well care of. And we're just still kind of hoping he comes back. That has happened. My parents' cat, who's also was fixed, he disappeared. I know tomcats can go and disappear and like tomcat around, but Ping Pong's not a tomcat. He's just a baby. Not really a baby. He's gotten big, but you can't find him anywhere. And he hasn't come home in a while, which is unlike him because he comes in at night, then goes out in the morning, comes back in to take a nap, goes back out, comes back in for bed. Like, it's unlike him to not come home. So that's been the worst of it. Every other thing that's gone wrong in the past 2 weeks has been monetary, which is also unfortunate, but we can deal with it and whatever. But now I have a garden dog and not my garden cat, which I miss my cat. But you know what? Lord willing, he'll come home. So there's my sob story of the day. These are my beautiful blueberries. They're doing well. I think I even have some fruit on them. Blueberries do well here, and they're zone 3 berries. The only issue is the frost. So if you get, that's my pile of cardboard and frost cover. It looks like a pile of junk. But if it's going to freeze and the blossoms are out, you're gonna not have berries because the blossoms are frost sensitive, just like trees. So you'd have to be willing to cover. I had one with a bunch of blueberries on it. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. This guy looks sad. They're having a little bit of shock. Everybody just got transplanted. So we got some berries coming up. This guy is sad. I don't know. Is he getting sun scald out here? His soil's damp. I don't know. We have all sorts of varieties of things. I just wanted to give you an update in here because I haven't shown you that I've been working in here, which I have been. This has been my priority for the last few days to get this going. I also put up, you'll see on the sides, it's like that construction, the orange stuff they put around construction site, but it's black. And we just stapled it up because last year, even if the sides were like this, the deer were able to crawl through. They're very persistent. We put up this year so we can raise, they're not up all the way because we had some cold nights, so we can actually roll our sides up all the way when we get the heat of the summer. But for the next 2 weeks, guys, it's really looking rainy and cold. So just be prepared to get that frost cover out if you planted frost tender things out and about. My potatoes, I have been on the list for straw for a while and I'm not getting it. But as far as mulch goes, you can use pine needles. A lot of people think that it adds too much nitrogen, but in fact, they don't have enough nitrogen to make a good compost. So in Linda Stevenson's books, Cold Climate Gardening, which she was a gardener here, she moved away for years and years and years, and she wrote a book about cold climate gardening. And she says in her book, if you're using it for composting, you can't use it solely. There's just not enough nitrogen in pine needles to use it as a proper compost. But this is not in her book. Another gardener had told me it's a great weed-free mulch, which a friend of ours, my friend Kathleen, brought over her pile of pine needles. And so I'm going to use those in the big garden. I don't know if I'll use them in here. I need to get some mulch. I do have compost I can put around, but like I said, with the chickens being in here, compost and chicken manure, that's a lot of nitrogen. So I'm a bit weary of that. These mosquitoes, they want to suck my blood. I am a bit weary of the nitrogen with the doubling the compost, but I do want to make them look more defined because you can see my tomatoes, but even if I put the weed fabric down for the pathways, you're going to notice where things are more. And as things get bigger, my strawberries are teeny tiny babies. They're coming. These were just teeny sticks when I put them in, and now they're greening up and getting leaves, and hopefully we get some fruit this year. That'd be fun. This is my glorious potato. Obviously, because they're in the high tunnel, they didn't get frostbitten. So yeah, there's the high tunnel. And yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do outside. I got plans for outdoors. Okay, so I built these doors. They're quite nice. They're not, I need to get crack on them so they stay in place in a latch. So over here, we put up plywood. I'm going to paint this, and then I'm going to paint flowers on here, like wildflowers. And this plastic I'm going to remove. I think I'm going to do the corrugated plastic and do it that way. So that's the plan for the outside, to make it look more cute. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for following along with me tonight, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Be sure, if you're local, to cover up your plants this coming week and tonight, but you're not going to see this video tonight, so. Oh, you want to see something? This is my goldenrod patch. I have always kept it because it's this beautiful flower. I didn't know what it was until a few years ago, but now I'm like, no eating it. Don't weed eat my goldenrod. Super medicinal, super great. All right, bye guys.